Getting into manga can feel overwhelming. There are so many places you can start. Maybe you're drawn to action-packed stories where a hero trains to defeat a great evil, or perhaps you prefer cozy romances that leave you feeling warm and uplifted. Or maybe you're just brand new to the whole genre and you have no idea where to begin. Whatever your taste, there's a perfect entry point waiting for you. Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'll be sharing my top 5 manga recommendations, perfect for anyone looking to dive into the hobby for the first time or just expand their collection. These picks are not only great gateway series, but also fantastic reads for long-time fans. The series I picked out today were based on a few criteria that I think is important when just starting out, which are story, characters, art, and availability. For those who may not be familiar with manga, certain aspects can feel like a hurdle at first. That's why I've chosen these recommendations based on criteria that make them easy to get into, minimizing anything that might feel jarring or hard to grasp. Hopefully you'll discover something that resonates with you, but with all that in, let's get started. If you're someone who is into reading spellbinding fantasy full of mystery, beauty, and imagination, and you're a fan of stories from Studio Ghibli and classic fairy tales, then the first series I recommend is Hat Atelier by Kamame Shirahama. Coco dreams of becoming a witch, but believes only those born with talent can use magic, until she uncovers a hidden truth that changes everything. As she begins her journey as an apprentice, she enters a world full of wonder and danger, where every spell reveals dazzling possibilities and every secret hints at darker truths. Hat Atelier blends fairy tale charm with mystery, exploring themes of curiosity, creativity, and who gets to shape the future of magic. What makes Hat Atelier such a great story for me is how it blends wonder and mystery and emotional depth so seamlessly. From the very first chapter, I was drawn into Coco's world, not just because of the stunning art, but because the story felt like a genuine journey of discovery. The way magic is treated as something beautiful yet dangerous adds a real weight to every decision the characters make. I love the narrative doesn't just focus on spells and fantasy, but also explores themes like curiosity, responsibility, and the consequence of knowledge. Every twist feels earned, and the pacing allows the world to unfold naturally. It's one of those stories that made me slow down and savor each moment. What makes the story shine is its character growth. Coco's fresh perspective challenges her fellow apprentices, helping them see magic in new ways. Their individual journeys weave together, forming deep bonds of friendship and family. It's a story not just about spells, but about connection, learning, and the courage to question what's possible. The characters in Hat Atelier are compelling because they each bring a unique perspective to the magical world, while growing in ways that feel deeply personal and earned. Coco, the curious and determined protagonist, anchors the story with her heartfelt desire to learn magic despite the odds. The supporting cast, like the stoic yet protective Queefrey, the reserved Reich, the playful Tetia, and the fiery Agate, each have distinct personalities, motivations, and emotional arcs that intertwine beautifully. Their relationships evolve with nuance, and their struggles often reflect broader themes of identity, secrecy, and the ethics of power. It's this emotional depth and character-driven storytelling that makes this series just so memorable. To me, the art in the series is nothing short of breathtaking. Shirahama's thick lines and intricate details draw me into every scene. Whether it's a sweeping landscape or the subtle texture of a chair leg or a cloak's embroidery, it reminds me of that 17th century etching, rich with dark tones and painted depth. Yet it still feels like you're stepping into a fairy tale. What I love most is how the paneling plays with the medium. The artwork often spills beyond its borders, creating a sense of motion that pulls me from one moment to the next. It's dynamic and expressive, but never confusing. Everything is laid out so clearly that reading feels effortless. I find myself lingering on each page, just soaking in the atmosphere while the story flows smoothly forward. Hat Atelier is published by Kodansha Comics with 13 volumes currently available. They come in paperback single volumes, usually costing around $25 Australian or so. Just check your retailer for all the costs, and obviously depending on your country is going to be different to Australian dollars. You can also get a box set which contains volumes 1 to 6, which is usually around $120 as well. There's also an anime adaptation recently announced by Bug Films, which is slated for a 2026 release, which is very exciting. Sticking in the fantasy genre, this next series is a clever blend of fantasy adventure and gourmet cooking, where a group of quirky adventurers survive by turning dungeon monsters into mouth-watering meals. If you're a fan of Dungeons & Dragons and comedy, then this next series might be good for you. It's Delicious in Dungeon by Ryoko Kui. Delicious in Dungeon follows a group of adventurers who dive into a monster-filled dungeon to rescue a lost teammate. But instead of relying on supplies, they survive by cooking and eating the creatures they encounter. Led by the practical and food-obsessed Lias, the party turns danger into dinner, blending fantasy adventure with incentive culinary twists. As they delve deeper, they uncover secrets about the dungeon's magic, its history, and themselves, all while sharing meals that bring them closer together. What I love most about Delicious Dungeon is how the characters feel so real and layered. Laos's curiosity and obsession with monster cuisine makes him oddly charming, and Senchi's calm, methodical approach to cooking adds a sense of warmth and wisdom. Marcel's cautious nature brings emotional depth, especially when she questions the ethics of their journey, and Chilchuk's dry humour and practicality keeps things grounded. As they face danger and share meals, I've watched their relationships grow in such genuine ways. It's not just about surviving the dungeon, but it's about building trust and friendship and understanding. That emotional connection is what kept me invested across the entire series. What I love about the art in this series is just how readable everything is, as the nature of the dungeon tends to be typically a lot of bricks and castle and feels, but Kui uses negative white space to her advantage, making what actions the character's doing just so much more clearer. But that's not to say that art isn't detailed, as each design of the monsters they encounter are just so well thought out. It really makes you believe that not only would that monster live in this world, but it would also live in this specific habitat they appear in. When she does show parts of the dungeon though, it's almost like you're playing a Where's Wally, can you find all the characters, as there is just so much incredible detail poured into these pages. You can spend hours just picking them apart, and you can tell she was obviously very heavily inspired by Dungeons & Dragons. And to top it all off, every encounter ends in a deliciously drawn meal where she details step by step how they're preparing the meal, even with its nutritional value, and it almost thinks that you too can eat a roast basilisk. Delicious in Dungeon is published by Yen Press and is complete at 14 volumes. You can pick up the singles for around $25 each as well, or you can purchase the complete box set, which comes probably around $400 depending on where you're looking, but it does come in this incredible design that looks like a mimic. The first season of the anime has finished airing back in 2023, with a second season due to come out by Studio Trigger. If you want to watch the anime and read it at the same time, the first season covers up to about volume 8, halfway through there, and then you can pick up reading from there as well. Switching genres for my next recommendation falls into the romance, comedy, slice of life category. If you're looking for a series that is lighthearted, cozy feels, and a budding romance set in high school, then perhaps the Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity might be what you're looking for. Fragrant Flower was created by Saka Mikami as a response to the bittersweet feeling of Attack on Titan coming to an end. Wanting to fill that emotional void, she crafted an uplifting series centered around kind-hearted characters who just radiate joy and support one another and just embody the hope in every chapter. So the story goes, in a quiet Tokyo bakery, two worlds collide. Rintaro Sugumi, a soft-spoken teen from the rough-and-tumble Chidori High, crosses paths with Karako Waguri, a poised and elegant student from the prestigious Kyoko Academy. Their schools couldn't be any more different, and neither could they. But through warm conversations and tender moments, a gentle friendship begins to bloom. As they navigate judgment, insecurity, and the weight of expectation, Rintaro and Karako discover something rare, a love that grows with dignity, one heartfelt step at a time. I love the Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity because it's such a gentle, emotionally rich story that just feels like a warm hug. What really drew me in was how it takes two characters from completely different worlds, Rintaro, the quiet guy from a rough school, and Karako, the elegant girl from a prestigious academy, and lets their friendship unfold slowly with so much care and sincerity. It's not just about romance, it's also about healing. Watching them learn to trust each other, break down stereotypes, and grow past the insecurities felt incredibly real and touching. The quiet moments like sharing bread or cake at the bakery or walking home together carry so much weight. It's a story that doesn't rush, and that's what makes it beautiful. The characters in Fragrant Flower are great because they feel so real, so quietly powerful. Rintaro isn't your typical romance lead. He's soft-spoken, misunderstood, and carries the weight of his school's rough reputation. But beneath that quiet exterior is someone who's deeply kind, thoughtful, and emotionally intelligent. Watching it open up little by little is genuinely moving. Kariko, on the other hand, is graceful and composed, but she's not untouchable. She's dignified without being distant, and her warmth shines through the way she treats others, especially Rintaro. What makes her compelling is how she balances elegance with vulnerability. She's not just a perfect girl from a fancy school, she's someone learning to trust, to feel, and to grow. Together, they're magnetic. Their relationship isn't built on dramatic twists, it's built on quiet moments, mutual respect, and emotional healing. They challenge each other, comfort each other, and they slowly rewrite the story that others have written about them. That's what makes this unforgettable. What makes the art of Fragrant Flower so captivating is its clarity and emotional resonance. Mikami uses large panels and double-page spreads to emphasize key emotional beats, allowing the story to breathe. The contrast between the two leads, Rintaro's sharp, jagged lines versus Kariko's soft, rounded features, visually reflects their personalities and deepens their dynamic. The overall aesthetic feels like an autumn afternoon, bathed in warm orange glows and gentle sunset tones. There's a real softness to the art that invites you to linger, making it the perfect cozy read for a quiet Sunday. Fragrant Flower is published by Kodansha with 9 English volumes currently in print. However, the Japanese volumes is sitting around 20 volumes or so. Each volume comes around $25 each. And there was also recently an anime adaptation done by Clover Works Studio, which covers around the first 6 volumes as well. So similar thing, if you want to watch the show or read the first 6, then you can continue off where the show has ended. Now, if you're into a bit more of an action genre and you like your battles, characters going up evil with an underdog story, well, Black Clover by Yuki Tabata might be what you're looking for. While not as popular as its older brother My Hero Academia, Black Clover still brings a lot to the table in terms of action, character growth, and heart. Black Clover is a fantasy adventure series set in the Clover Kingdom, where magic defines status and power. Citizens receive grimoires and enhance their magical abilities, and society is sharply divided between nobles and peasants. The story follows Asta, a determined boy who dreams of becoming the Wizard King, despite being born without any magic. His fate changes when he receives a rare 5-leaf grimoire that grants him anti-magic powers. Alongside his gifted rival Yuno, Asta faces trials, demonic threats, and political turmoil as they strive to rise through the ranks and forge their own legendary path. What makes Black Clover's story special is its relentless momentum. It's always moving forward with energy and purpose. What begins as a simple tale of 2 boys striving for greatness gradually unfolds into a rich narrative filled with expansive world building and a detailed magic system that feels organic to its universe. In a world where everything revolves around magic, Asta's lack of it challenges the very foundation of society's beliefs. The series explores powerful themes of belonging and self-worth, showing that even when the world tells you you're insignificant, your actions can prove otherwise. At its heart, it's a classic underdog story. Asta never gives up, no matter how impossible the odds. Asta really is the soul of the series, as he just brings unending optimism to everything that he does. While some say he can come off a little strong at the start, I think once you give him a chance and settle in, his charming and playful nature brings the story just all together. He is constantly lifting people up, not judging them on prejudice, and challenges people's ideals, and he never gives up, making him such an enjoyable lead character. Underdog stories are one of my favourites, as it's really gratifying to watch someone start from nothing and slowly gain friends and power and everything else along the way. Aiding Asta on his journey to become the Wizard King are the Black Bulls. It's rare to read a shonen series where the entire cast is all consistently great. Like Asta, they're a squad of magical misfits who turn chaos into camaraderie. They're not your typical elite team, they're rowdy, reckless, and often dismissed by the rest of the Magic Knights. But beneath the madness lies a deep bond and a shared drive to protect what matters. From Noelle, whose journey of insecurity to confident mage is amazing to watch, to Finral being able to stand up for himself. All of the Black Bulls bring something unique to the table, and the story cleverly utilizes each of them in every arc to give them spotlights to really flesh out their characters. As an action series, Black Clover excels in readability, especially for newcomers to the genre. Yuki Tabata's paneling is clean and spacious, often using large boxes and intimate framing to guide the reader's eye. When the action ramps up, he unleashes dynamic double-page spreads that give battles a cinematic punch. The fights are kinetic and explosive, with sharp designs and palpable sense of impact. He's very clearly influenced by series such as Berserk and Bleach, which you can see in the dark line work, the shading, and the hatching adds depth and intensity, especially how he illustrates magic. Beyond the action, he balances comedy and quite emotional beats with finesse, making the series feel like a complete package. As the story progresses, his art evolves into something truly unique, but to see that transformation, you'll have to read it for yourself. Black Clover is currently serializing with 37 volumes currently available in paperback singles, whilst it was originally being published in Weekly Shonen Jump. Due to some personal family issues, he's had to move the series to Jump Giga, which is typically published quarterly, though the series is in its final arc, and if I was to make a sort of an assumption, I would say there's probably about a year left before the series wraps up, so now is the perfect time to jump into it. There's also an anime produced by Studio Pyro, which aired for 170 episodes, with a second season finally in the works. The last series I want to suggest is one that most people have heard of, but maybe never actually read. Commonly referred to as one of the big three, this series has left its impact on pop culture, and it's full of heart and action. It's none other than Naruto by Masashi Kishimoto. The reason I'm recommending something as popular as Naruto is because despite many people maybe having watched it growing up in the early 2000s, or maybe just watched a few episodes here and there, there's not a lot of people that I know that have actually read the series from start to finish. I often hear people say that, they fell off during certain arcs or got bogged down with filler episodes. That's why I actually suggest reading it instead, as you get to experience the story exactly how the author intended, without the interruptions. So now that the series is complete, you can enjoy the entire journey in one go. So most people would know the general story of Naruto, but for those who don't, Naruto follows the titular character Naruto Uzumaki, a spirited and determined ninja from the Hidden Leaf Village who dreams of becoming the Hokage, the strongest ninja and leader in his village. Born with a nine-tailed fox demon sealed inside him, Naruto grows up shunned and misunderstood, but he never gives up on earning the respect of others. Through intense training, fierce battles, and deep friendships, he matures into a powerful warrior. Along the way, he confronts enemies, uncovers secrets about his past, and ultimately proves that with perseverance and compassion, even the most unlikely hero can change the world. Naruto and Black Clover do share quite a few similar beats, however at its core, Naruto is an emotional journey of growth, perseverance, and the power of friendship. Naruto tells the story of an underdog who rises above loneliness, prejudice, and hardship to become a hero. The series masterfully blends thrilling battles with deep character development, exploring themes like identity, redemption, and the importance of never giving up on your dreams. Whether you're drawn to intricate world building, compelling rivalries, or heartfelt moments that just tug at your emotions, Naruto offers a rich and rewarding experience that resonates with its readers. Naruto's cast is vast, and while there's not enough time to cover everyone, just know that each character plays a meaningful role, either by supporting Naruto's journey or enriching the world around him. From villain groups with tragic backstories to his classmates and the iconic Team 7, which is Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi. The series is packed with emotional, resonant dynamics. Sasuke in particular stands out as one of the most compelling rivals in manga history. Without giving too much away, the journey of Naruto and Sasuke across all 74 volumes take them to unexpected places, both physically and emotionally, leaving a lasting impact long after the final chapter. One of the most striking aspects of Naruto's art style is its distinct character design. Each leaf ninja wears the headband in a way that reflects their personality, and their clothing choices further emphasizes who they are. The evolution of the art through the series is impressive, but it's the eyes that truly stand out to me. Naruto's playful fox-like gaze, Sasuke's somber eyes that hint at a hidden pain, and Sakura's supportive, if slightly naive expression all add emotional depth. The action sequences are equally captivating, with detailed backgrounds and expressive movement that make every fight feel impactful. Overall, Naruto is a great beginner-friendly series that draws you into its world through thoughtful and dynamic artwork. Something people get nervous when seeing a series like this is the length, coming in at 74 single volumes. Naruto is definitely one of the longest series out there. However, my recommendation is to not look at something that's overwhelming, but rather a series that you can take your time with and get invested into the world. This series isn't going anywhere, and you should go at your own pace. Don't feel pressure to rush through it and get to the end as quick as possible. Naruto is complete and available in 74 paperbacks, which can also be bought through 3 box sets, as well as 3-in-1 volumes, giving you lots of options to purchase. purchase. Naruto also has a sequel series supervised by Kishimoto, which is Boruto, and is published monthly and is still ongoing. You can also watch Naruto. There is 2 animes, which is produced by Studio Pyro. However, just be aware there is quite a lot of filler content if you do plan to watch, but there are plenty of guides out there that can tell you which episodes to watch and which episodes to skip. So these were my top 5 beginner-friendly manga, as well as manga that I just would recommend to anyone. I do believe these are a great way to sort of ease yourself into this genre. Of course, there are plenty of other series out there, but let me know your thoughts below. Have you tried any of these series out today, or maybe you saw something that you might actually think about picking up? But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.